And it is this committee's recommendations which are then acted upon by the chief engineer, who is a major HOD. I would like to clarify something important here. JJM is a scheme, it is not a work. So when you look at the works, then yes, there is a contract committee which is going to be there. That contract committee will be for an individual work. But the moment you look at a scheme, the scheme will have a number of works under it. Like I mentioned, there are 3,300 schemes here, or 6,600 components. So while administrative approval has been granted for the entire scheme, none of the schemes go to a level where the contract committee headed by the administrative secretary would come into picture. I want to reassure everybody and inform everybody that every work which is being executed under JJM, there is administrative approval which has been accorded. The technical sanction has been accorded by the competent authorities, and only after the A and TS has been accorded, the tender document can be uploaded for the NIT. Let me clarify that there are directions of the finance department since 2020 that without A and TS being clearly mentioned, there is no question of the tender being called. Therefore, the ATS is accorded, this aspect is done in advance. Now there is another check which comes. The allotment once made, any bill to be paid, it is necessary that for the payment, you are all aware that these payments are not being done through the treasuries by everybody going there and trying to get some money out of the treasuries. No, it is all done through the electronic medium only. And the PACES system which is there, which is the system which allows the money to be paid to a contractor, that PACES system has clear columns asking for the A to be indicated, asking for the TS to be indicated. If the A and TS are not indicated, then the payment cannot be made. So let me again assure you that every payment which has been made, as I mentioned, 3,088 crores which has been made, every bit of payment which has been done only after A and TS has been uploaded there. So there is no question of any tendering being done without ATS. There is no question of any payment being made without ANTS. I would circulate it. Those documents indicate that on 20th of July 2022, it was stated that about 11,600 crores was the total project cost, which was revised to about 14,300 crores. But let me tell you this thing, that is the engineers of the Jal Shakti department, right down from the JE level up to the chief engineer, and subsequently the various checks and balances mechanisms which have been put in place, that today the project cost is 13,000 crores only. Almost about 520 crores was saved by due diligence by carefully looking at the schemes. Similarly, I want to inform you that with regard to SDP pipes, there has been allegations that there is some kind of money which has been there in SDP pipes of some 20 crores, whatever. Let me tell you some things. SDP pipes is something which is being used all across the country at various places. In particular, I would like to draw your attention to the advisories which have been issued to the entire country, and I'll read out. SDP pipes should be preferably used over GI pipes. The UT has been consistently opposing the use of SDP pipes even in plain areas for which sound technical reasoning is not provided. These are observations which have been circulated across. It is imperative to use such cost-effective pipes that is currently used across many states in the country. So I'll clarify that SDP pipe is in use in various parts of the country. And when the question comes of weather-related issues of the UT, we are extremely careful about what we use. When it comes to cold areas, it is DI pipes which is being used. When it comes to areas which are very rocky and therefore it is very difficult to lay the pipes and it's not cold, freezing of water is unlikely, we use the SDP pipes. These are technical decisions being taken by technical people. And this is the reason the SDP pipes have been used. And I'm happy to inform you that it is usage of this kind of pipes which has led to a saving of 430 crores in the overall execution of the scheme in J&K, the SDP pipes. A very important part with regard to monitoring that I need to mention. is that while there is technical monitoring, while there is also monitoring by district project monitoring units, DPMUs, which have been set up from December onwards, December 22, not before that. We interviewed people, we posted them there. And most importantly, the JJM structure is so robust, it does not allow any kind of physical or financial progress to be recorded unless and until, or a payment to be made unless third-party inspection takes place. The third-party inspection is taking place both in Jammu and Kashmir provinces. Therefore, and in addition to that, because the villagers, the Pani Samitis knows that they own it, it is their ownership, they have been involved so intensively that every bit of work which is being executed, the Pani Samitis are fully aware about it and they are monitoring it. A number of virtual meetings are taken on a regular basis in addition to everything else I am saying, where the JEs and AWs go on the ground and XCNs also visit. The virtual meetings are taken on a regular basis where interactions with the Pani Samitis take place. Therefore, monitoring is being done in a very robust fashion. I have already talked about the expenditure figures. In this current year, we have spent 1447 crores and we have been able to lift 2 tranches already from Government of India. I would like to just mention one point. Before the JJM came into being, and there are financial details that I have, the order of expenditure was 200, 500 crores, so that's all. This time, we have an ambitious objective. We are talking of about 10,000 crore rupees worth of execution in the current year. And I'm happy to inform you that almost 1,700 contractors are working with us. And the pipes are being procured from 24 original equipment manufacturers. This figure, I'll again repeat the figures, 6,600 contracts, about 1,700 contractors, and procurements of all pipes, etc. through the OEMs only. Yes, there have been re-tenderings. Indeed, and only when the GFR so requires it. In fact, there is not even a single instance where any complaint was received with regard to allotments. It makes a mention that the composite tendering, and I would be circulating this letter also, that the composite tendering which was done, which is the basis for a lot of allegations which are flying thick and heavy. The composite tendering, that letter itself says, has not given us any success in allotting works. And in fact, component-wise tendering has led to the works getting better response. It is that very letter again which talks about other difficulties. I am happy to inform you that most of these difficulties have been taken care of. If it's a matter of cadre management, we have at that point of time in July 2022, one single engineer, which is being often talked about, that single chief engineer was holding 3 charges. The officer was promoted in 2020 and it's not in 2022. In 2020 he was promoted. He was posted as chief engineer. That gentleman was given the charge of another chief engineer, RTIC, and the PhD charge, let me clarify, was given by the very same gentleman who was at that time holding Jal Shakti department to that very person. So the third charge, the 3 departments, PHE Jammu, Irrigation Jammu and RTIC Jammu, were given to that, and this recommendation has been given by the very same person who is writing that entire detailed the ones which are the things which are coming out in the papers. Also, a lot of talk is being made that one action was taken against one particular chief engineer who was placed under suspension, while another one was spared. Let me clarify, these recommendations also took place in July 2022 when the person who is writing all these things was heading the department. Nobody stopped him from doing whatever he wanted. In fact, again, the recommendations for suspension and giving the charge to somebody has been given by him, to be precise, on 27th of July 2022. Therefore, it is very easy to later turn back and say various things, but this is the factual position as it is today. I would also like to inform that a large number of RDAs, etc. have been settled precisely to bring in more discipline and a sense of responsibility amongst all the engineers. Lastly, there is a talk about schemes other than JJM NRDWP, NABARD and JKIDFC. JKIDFC is the languishing schemes. Yes, the estimation made at that time was that a large number of schemes were required to be shifted in July. But again, I would like to inform you that this estimation has drastically come down because we have ensured that the payment processes are swift. The contractors do not need to go from one place to another. It is the responsibility of the department to make those payments. Once somebody executes, it is his right to ask for the payments, and it is our duty to ensure that the payments take place in time. And that is the reason why there has been an expenditure of 210 crores under these schemes which are mentioned as something which were not going to yield any results. Also, the likely amount which is to shift from languishing schemes to JJM is much less. There is no advisory from the ACB with regard to any kind of allotment related issue. All advisories are, and this talk about poor quality of works also, the recommendations which have come from the ACB are that the works may be properly monitored. Not even a single specific recommendations from the ACB. These are things that I thought would, right now I would like to mention, and unless there's something that you want to